The death penalty is again being scrutinized closely, Lewis, because of a condemned Ohio inmate who appeared to gasp several times and took more than 15 minutes to die as he was executed with yet another new combination of drugs never before tried for lethal injection in the United States. It is Martin Luther King Day. We are here in studio. It is a new show, not a rerun, unless it is not January 20th, 2014 today, and then this is a rerun show. But at least today, Lewis, it is a new show, and that we can be very thankful for. Death row inmate Dennis McGuire made a number of loud snorting or snoring sounds during one of the longest executions since Ohio resumed capital punishment back in 1999. In attempting to halt his execution with the new method, his attorneys argued that he was at substantial risk of agony and terror while straining to catch his breath as he experienced a medical phenomenon known as air hunger. Officials used intravenous doses of two drugs, the sedative midazolam and the painkiller hydromorphone, to put him to death for the 1989 rape and fatal stabbing of a pregnant woman, Joy Stewart. The reason why every time, seemingly, there is a new combination of drugs being used is that increasingly the manufacturers of the drugs, some American, some European, say, no. We're not even going to allow our drug into the United States for any reason if you use it to put people down, essentially, for lack of a better term. So every time, Lewis, new combinations are used, and most of the time, the drug manufacturers say, stop using our drugs that way. This is hopefully yet another indication that we need to get rid of this barbaric practice.
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, this crime was particularly heinous. And I can't say I feel bad for the guy, but I could easily see this happening to someone who committed no crime, and it has happened.
And separate from that, Lewis, we have to look at, does this violate the constitutional prohibition of cruel and unusual punishment, right? I mean, on one hand, I think it does. There's always this question when we talk about the death penalty of, if it was your 3-year-old daughter that was raped and murdered by this guy, wouldn't you want to see him suffer in this way? However, I feel like that's an irrelevant question, because what an individual may want does not change what the law is and what the Constitution is. And it's shocking that we seem to be ignoring the constitutional prohibition on cruel and unusual punishment. And further than that, why is it, Lewis, that the United States is the one country at our level of development that can't seem to just provide everybody with health care? And we're also an outlier in terms of doing this to our prisoners. It's something that also is done less and less in the equally developed world. I just don't understand it.
I don't really understand it either. With regard to the Constitution, it seems like every form of execution we've ever used has been pretty cruel or unusual. I mean, honestly, I think the guillotine is probably the best bet compared to what we've been doing.
Compared to this 20-minute execution, you're probably actually right that would be both more humane and less cruel. And we're going to keep following it and seeing what happens. More and more states are outlawing or doing away with capital punishment.